for a couple people to show up. For those of you who don't know or didn't get my road trip with my family for spring break. So here in Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada, we get 2 weeks of spring break. And we decided, because we haven't really done a lot of traveling thanks to COVID, that we would do this road trip. And it's been really fun, but it was also the inspiration for this week's topic, which is inspect what you expect. I heard this phrase a long time ago when someone who I admire was saying you have to inspect what you expect from your children. Road trip coffee. All right. I see Diamond Bar Tea Ranch is here. If you want to see some cool pictures, you can go to her Instagram. That's my sister. All right. So when we were boom, I pictured it in my mind, right? Why wouldn't we? And automatically, that image that we have in our mind, whether it's about how things are going to be or look, sorry, we had a poor connection there, so I just paused for a minute. I hope I didn't lose you. It needs to make sense of everything that we're doing now to, in a nutshell, make sure that we live longer. Don't forget that we are so your brain is essentially doing like a risk assessment. It's asking itself, how likely am I to die if I go through this plan of mine? And usually the risk is So when I get really attached, or people get really attached to that idea of how things are going to be, and then we go about living our lives, what we have there is a little recipe for disaster. And we've all been there. Some of us more than others, and that's totally cool. Sometimes I even notice my daughter exhibiting this tendency too, and that's a really potent reminder how important it is for me to keep doing this work so that she's not 43, 43, something like that. Just doing this work now, right? She's 10 and she's getting her if it helps you, I'd love to know that. Please share that with me. If you have a way that you think that I would appreciate too, please share that. Okay. So it helps me the most when I can be as mindful as early comes to fruition. And in my case, day 5 of 8 of a Vancouver Island road trip with my husband and 2 children. Okay, so each decision that we narrowed down some scope of our road trip triggered a whole new set of expectations, right? Like, are we going to go on the island or off the island? Like, we know we're taking a road trip. Are we going to go on or off the island? What does that look like? And my little antelope brain so that's kind of something I remind myself when I'm at that stage of the game. Then you move into more in-depth planning. So you're starting to flesh out the details, and your expectations will naturally get more detailed too. And my mindfulness reminder here sounds like yeah, that is how it was last time you were there. That's what it looked like, felt like. But it could be different this time. That's okay. You're going to get to have a new experience. Okay. And that sort of takes some of that pressure. Preemptive strike, like, girl, maybe I'll check that. Right? We don't want you to get mad later, so just check it now. So version of that is for the circumstance for me or you go right ahead and say that. So all of this sort of pre-work leads right up to the point where all your planning has come to pass, and now moment. Okay, so I've done all this sort of pre-work, but in the moment I notice that there's tension in my mind and my body, and I can associate that with some unmet expectation. It is way easier to get that stuff in check when I've done this pre-work. Because essentially what you've done is given yourself the gift of time. You've been honest with yourself about the likelihood that things will be different than you expected them to be. And we've reconciled with that long before this moment. And that's created this time for us to kind of slow down, feel around a bit, and ask, what is it about this experience right now that I need to be different? What is it that I need to be different right now? Am I able to achieve that change? If I'm not able to achieve that change that I want, will I be okay? Weather, right? We were gonna go do the whatchamacallit yesterday, the sky deck at the Malahat, this big beautiful new sky deck. But I mean, it was socked in. We're not gonna see anything. I'm not gonna pay money to go up there and see what the inside of a cloud looks like, right? So if I can't change my circumstance to meet my expectations, will I be okay? And the big question is, if I am able to change things to suit the way I want it, am I willing to experience this without interfering? How willing am I to let this just be the way that it is without having to go in there and change it for my own comfort? So this process really works for me on everything from an 8-day road trip with my family all the way to, I don't know, Tuesday planning a trip to Costco. when I tell you, it's getting to be really list. And until next time, let's be honest and kind.